public, there is a mountain of toxic material falling on us, period.
Before about 5 years ago, our skies were typically blue, and now you see it's covered with lines and haze, and virtually nothing you see on the horizon, nothing you see in the sky above us is a natural cloud. I mean, it is virtually all the remnants of these aircraft lines that you see fanning out, spreading into clouds, artificial clouds, but the sky is a very dirty look to it. There's not the white cloud blue sky that we had only a few years ago, but it looks like there's some sort of massive industrial activity or forest fires burning over there, and we see that typically every night. You see even down to ground level, the clarity drops off significantly, and we don't see that except for the days when we have these long, lingering trails that spread and cover the whole sky, and on certain days you can see these trails actually dropping vertically like a veil. We assume the particulates are descending, and we have the test to prove that we are being inundated with levels of aluminum and particulates that are literally tens of thousands of times what would already be considered high. So we're not talking about exposure to a slight percentage higher of these toxic materials. We're talking about quantities, for example, off the side of Mount Shasta. If you can pan back, that's a landmark in Northern California, considered to be a pristine water source. Aluminum or snow sample off the side of Mount Shasta tested 61,000 parts per billion.
This is just ordinary snow water, and people are drinking this stuff when they're hiking on the mountain. And remember, government action is required at 1,000. This is 61 times over the government limit, and our hikers are drinking this poisonous water on Mount Shasta Mountain itself. Barium, 83. Strontium, 383.
So this summer, the people climbing are drinking poison.
Basically. I certainly wouldn't want to drink 61,000 micrograms per liter of aluminum.
And again, we've already seen in 5 years soil pHs in this area that have escalated 10 to 12 times, and we can prove that conclusively. Well, this is not speculation. We can prove conclusively that these metals have been in the rain. We have duplicate samples.
Bachelor of Science in Forestry, International School of Forestry at Missoula. Master's in Zoology, specialized in aquatics. 35 years with the U.S. Forest Service as a wildlife biologist. And before that, several years with the USDA Soil Conservation Service as a soil conservationist. Also have run the botany programs, range grazing programs, and I continue that today. Right now I do a lot of master gardener consultation work. When I started this garden back in about 2005 or so, the pH here was 5.5, 5.6. This is the old soil survey of the county. You can look at the page right here. This is my soil right here. It's a Dietz 125, 126 here at my house. And here, the soil reaction pH should be between 4.5 and 6.0. And over there in the pure mud, it's even a little darker. It's 6.8 right there.
And what can this do to plant life and ecosystems?
Well, you haul one of these things out and you start looking at the little things that are crawling around the soil. A lot of times they aren't there anymore. The little soil arthropods that you can barely see on a microscope, you can actually see movement with this. Little tiny macroscopic, look like little moving pieces of dust. Those start to go away. They're not gone entirely, but they start to go away. This is black oak acorns. You know, this is pieces of cedar wood. You know, come on, folks. This should be very acid, and I'm getting 10 times higher than expected. There's something really wrong here. You can see all those reports, lots of them.
Have over 20 reports here.
Well, at least 20. I'd say it'd be closer to 30.
All revealing dangerous amounts of aluminum and barium.
You know, the science is there that something funny is happening, and the naysayers say, well, so what? Isn't neutral good? Well, no, neutral's not good. Neutral is not good. If your soil is supposed to be 5.6, it should stay 5.6 if you want the forest to be healthy. And if you want to grow a good garden, you have to keep your pH around 6.0, 6.5.
I think that we just need to wake up and just look at what's happening, because we can't just ignore it, because it's going to get worse and worse if we just keep ignoring it and pushing it away like, oh, that's nothing. There was mason jars, and they were brand new, sterilized, and that's what we catch the rain in. And then there was a HEPA filter that we tested the air with.
Okay, so you caught rain and then you basically filtered air. What did you find?
Aluminum and barium.
Here's another test that's revealing 375,000 parts per million aluminum, barium at 3,090, and strontium at 345.
Yeah, that's from a lined pond.
With EPDM fish safe pond liner. There is no chemicals, manufacturing materials at all in that pond liner that's available to the aquatic life. It's designed for that purpose. The well that feeds this pond has been tested and retested. ND, no detectable aluminum, zero. The only other place this pond can receive water is rainfall. We are located on a filtered, forested hilltop, miles and miles and miles away from any industry, highway, and so forth. After several heavy spray days, there was a film that we received formed on the surface of the water. Then we tested that crust, and it was aluminum and barium. That after a year and a half's accumulation had 375,000 parts per billion of aluminum in it. It's literally toxic. We can say conclusively that what we see in the sky matches expressly what's outlined in numerous patents, and the materials on the ground match those patents. This material was not there 5 years ago. It is a recent phenomena in the quantities it's in. It has escalated in some cases 50,000% in 5 years in the case of aluminum. From our original baseline reading of 7 parts per billion, which was already high, it has escalated up to 50,000% in 5 years. And we've seen profound changes in that time.
Dr. Leonard Time, PhD in chemistry, I cross-checked with him, and he says the oxides of aluminum, barium, and strontium will drive your pH into the coastal from an acid soil like this up into the neutral. There's no question about it.
And that's
exactly what you see happening.
wow.
I have a doctorate in inorganic chemistry from Oregon State University, in which I was working with different metals and oxidation states, and then did a postdoctorate work at Brandeis, where I was working stabilizing off oxidation states.
My brothers and sisters, this is what it's all about, okay? Now listen. And listen carefully, please. They are pushing the climate agenda, okay? In the mainstream, all over this administration, okay? Because they have to have an excuse for why they're doing it. Okay? The excuse is it's getting hotter, so we need to spray. It's getting hotter, we need to spray more. Once this hits mainstream, okay? But the catch-22 is, it's only the first layer of the lie. They're not spraying because it's getting hotter. They're making it hotter because they're spraying. Okay? They're spraying to hide what's here, my brothers and sisters. That's why he's called the father of lies. You have to lie to cover the lie. To cover the lie. The lies will never end until Father ends them. And that's what they're doing, my brothers and sisters. They're spraying to hide the coming of Christ. and they're deceiving everybody. And nothing will stop them. I can't not speak up about it anymore, my brothers and sisters. I just feel I have to do more and more and more. We're up against an army of evil, nasty. They're not people. Guys, I don't think anybody's grasping what's about to happen. Listen, this dude that got raided the other day, okay? Veritas, okay? For the stupid diary, right? That's the cover story. The real thing is Project Veritas is about to drop the hammer on what's in these things. And they don't want him to. He's got an insider that brought him, and he went to a doctor and got it all. And got it all, my brothers and sisters. He's about to drop the hammer. And when he drops the hammer, this place is gonna, imagine when everybody finds out what's in this. Can you imagine what's gonna happen? When the world finds out they've been guys, get ready. Okay, I'm telling you. Because when he drops this, they're gonna, this is their plan. They're gonna lock everything down. Because it's gonna, they're gonna bring in, yep, and they're gonna, yep. So, what I've been thinking is we need to do something where we come together, because I think there's less than a week left before chaos is everywhere, my brothers and sisters. Unless they, listen, I watched his videos today. He's putting out codes. Watch his videos. He's putting out codes saying, I'm never going to back down. No one is going to stop me. Now that you know what happened and why what happened, listen to what he's saying. He's not backing down. He's going to go with the story. He's going to go with it. They're going to either have to lock him up or whack him. I'm telling you. It's about to go down, my brothers and sisters. You have been warned. This is my job. Father shows me it all. And I'm telling you, right now, there's less than a week. Or they gotta whack him. Or they gotta lock him up. And I still think if it's still gonna drop. He's got a dead man's card. There's no doubt. He's got whatever that's called, dead man switch. Well, this is getting long enough. I have a lot more to say. My brothers and sisters, in Christ. Keep your cups full. Keep your lamps full. Keep your candles lit. Stay on your knees. Pray. Always. Father, find the mercy for some of us. I love you guys.